All right, so we get to Friday the 17th. Friday the 17th, the moon is still in Virgo. So we're still very productive. We're still very eager doing our work, etc. Now, in this day, the sun in Libra, the sun has been in Libra, but the sun in Libra is actually going to be important because we're seeing clearly what needs to be balanced out in our lives, right? Because this is what this Libra season is all about, getting the eyes to see what has been limiting us. But then what happens is a square. And I told you guys the square is the wall that gets placed in front of you. And the square is in Jupiter. Jupiter is the energy of good fortune, good luck, expansion, the desires and the wishes that you have for your future, right? And there's also an opposition. So a wave. So you're in this energy where you're seeing a block or a wall that is not letting you reach that wish, that desire, that good luck, that good favor. And you're getting hit with a wave of opposition that is linked to Chiron, which is your wound. So you're starting to notice how every single time you are starting to move forward, here comes a wall to block you from your happily ever after because there's still a wound that you carry. One that makes you revisit that person, fester and linger in wounds of the past, make you feel unworthy, make you feel less than. And that Chiron also has an influence with Mercury being also in the sign of Scorpio. Mercury in the sign of Scorpio is like you're getting downloads, like so much information. And the information has to do with a return of that North Node energy that we saw the day before. So you're being called 2 days in a row to see how much you've given up your power, how much you've limited yourself, how much you've restricted yourself, how much you've allowed to stop you. And this can be as easy like, I just need 5 more minutes of sleep. I'm going to spend 2 hours scrolling to social media instead of doing something else that I want to do. I leave something for the next day. I keep thinking about that person that attacked me so many years ago. I worry that I'm not safe. And the focus of all these things are actually stopping us from our happily ever after. I recently saw this person that said, we have a threshold that we are allow ourselves in happiness because our lives are set up to reach happiness, but our lives are not set up to live the life that is happy. So, and as soon as we get that happiness, we create a chaotic situation through manifestation, through our subconscious, right? A perceived threat, a perceived problem that we trigger because what we want is to stop ourselves from being more happy. And that's a subconscious thought because we picked where that ceiling is. So, all these feelings that you get these days in this week, ask yourself, why am I limiting myself to this? Why don't I want to give myself more? And don't just say, no, I declare that this is what it is. Because you know what? I am statements and declarations are shit if your inner self doesn't believe it. So talk to your inner self. Why do you want to limit us? Why do you want to restrict us? And journal about it and write it all the time so then you can find out why it is that you allow this for yourself. And finally, you can start breaking through these thresholds. I hope this helps.